switches. I was just flip-flopping switches. I was just flipping. Okay, wait a minute. Hang on. I gotta psychoanalyze these. Because this is a bunch of... Okay, I thought this was the avarice and the envious one. That seems like that three words in there, and I was like, okay, that's good. But what is this? What is this? What is it? What, all the fame of the world calls them blind? All they have is death? Oh, whatever, I'll take it. Okay, we're moving on. Because we got everything that we need, and we don't need to be there anymore. So let's go put the boobs on the boob machine, and we can get whatever gun flow out of it. Movie time.
What happened, Daddy? You don't want to see me? You have to say goodbye.
Boom! Focus! What the hell? God, bullshit. Okay, yeah, stick that bad boy right in there. Just slam jam it right in the yam. Okay, alright. Well, that's... Well, I mean, that was just really my stupidity for sticking my hand in a hole with a lot of blow. Okay. Oh, that's it? What? I went through all that trouble just to get my hand chopped off? But I didn't even see what was in the upstairs.
Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video. And today, I have brought Harold to Red M, which is Red Dead Redemption 2's 5M equivalent. It's basically Red Dead roleplay. In case you guys don't know who Harold is one of my GTA roleplay characters who does not speak a word of English. He makes a lot of weird sounds and does weird things. He's one of my favorites. If you guys have ideas you'd love to see me do on Red M, please leave it in the comment section down below. Hashtag idea. If I do like your idea, I will use it in a future video. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell for all future videos on this channel and anytime I go live. Follow me on Twitter at JMWFilms_YT to see what I'm tweeting. I'm pretty active on there. And also follow me on Instagram at JMWFilms for all future sneak peeks and future videos. Alright, let's go show Red M Harold. Shit, I can't tell who's player. What makes you happy?
给我小飞机，小飞机，小飞机呀！
At one point or another, like this video.
Blasphemous HD. I'm here with the homie 88. I don't know about y'all, but one of my favorite games is Outlast. So with that being said, we about to check out the Outlast new teaser trailer, the Outlast Trials. If you guys want to watch the original video, the link will be in the description down below. Let's do this. Oh, snap. Mr. Sexy Time. Huh?
Nope, they knew about the coronavirus.
Oh.
Countdown smoke
Good.
again.
Dang.
This is how it made crazy.
Ooh, they dentists. They hood dentists. Oh, no, that's not nice. That's not dental equipment. Wait. Look. Oh, God. Look, please. Do I get sex after this from a lady? Oh, no. Oh, no!
Kids don't get cameras.
Night vision device fully operational, sir.
Excellent. Bring in the other subjects.
Oh boy, that's messed up. You gonna install night vision cameras inside of people, and then when they tired of getting their anuses played with against their will, because experimentation and whatnot.
Take care with
Good.
Have you ever been so bored in Grand Theft Auto that you literally obey all of the traffic laws? Don't lie. Leave a like on the video if you have. And hey, if we get 5,000 likes on this video, I'll finally delete my channel. So here lately, I've been riding this GTA 4 nostalgia wave. Because if you think about it, Grand Theft Auto 4 was a really perfect game. Hello? So long before the days of Grand Theft Auto 5 and really even GTA YouTube videos, you had to improvise and make your own fun when it came to the Grand Theft Auto series. Today we have 10 things to do when you're bored in Grand Theft Auto 4. And only fans born before the year 2000 can relate. Because if you were born after, that means you missed the golden years of Grand Theft Auto 4. And hey, I bet a lot of y'all watching this video probably haven't even played Grand Theft Auto 4. Number 10, helicopter blades. So, some of my best memories from Grand Theft Auto 4 are with my buddy Lorenzo. Y'all, please say a prayer for him. Nothing's wrong, he just smells like honey buns and ranch. So back in 2008, when we were in the 5th grade, he would come over and we would spend literal hours flying to the sky limit in Grand Theft Auto 4, and we'd either jump out of the helicopter and try to get the blades to chop us up and send us ragdolling, because if you jump out at an angle, that can happen, Or if that didn't happen, we'd go to plan B, which is jump from the helicopter and see if we could hit a building just right to where it sends us doing 20,000,000 front flips and then try to land on a car. And what made it more addicting than BBW Granny Prawn is the fact that you would never really land on a car. You would get so close and you're like, man, let's try it again. We'll get it this time. And you just keep doing it and keep doing it. Wait, that's not GTA. Oh, that's someone suspecting. Wait, that's not GTA 4.
If I see another tourist today, I'll shoot.
Humanoid motorcycles over the water. So, GTA is filled with tons of stump jumps. Tree stumps. From rooftop riding in GTA Vice City to biking off the OG Mount Chiliad in San Andreas, and my personal favorite, ramping from Alderny to Algonquin. So, when I first discovered this, I was met with infinite failed attempts where my car would make it halfway over and I'd instantly die the next day. So, that's when my 10-year-old brain realized that I need the Energy 900. Imagine if Rockstar misspelled that bike name. That would make Rockstar a racistist. So, with the Energy 900 being the fastest bike in Grand Theft Auto 4, I think, it allows us to pick up enough speed at least to not only make it to the other island, but also do some cool tricks like backflips and stuff and try to land them. And just like jumping out the helicopter with the helicopter blades, trying to land on the ground, it's super addicting. And if you fail, don't worry, because there's actually a cheat code for the bike, so you can just spawn it in and make your way downtown. Number 8, the Statue of Happiness Cup. So, one of my greatest accomplishments in Grand Theft Auto 4 was landing on the cup that the Statue of Happiness is holding up. I even have a picture of this somewhere on my old BlackBerry phone. And if y'all think iPhones are cool, you weren't cool back in the day unless you had a BlackBerry Curve. So, landing on the cup, I think, is one of the hardest things to do in Grand Theft Auto. It takes extreme accuracy, but it's a cool feeling when you finally get it. And while there's nothing up there in Grand Theft Auto 4, in the Ballad of Gay Tony, Rockstar actually added a hidden pair of shoes up there. So, take that, Hillary Clinton. Breaking news. GTA YouTuber Black Croc STD's eyebrows found dead by apparent slip and slide. I can't say that because it would demonetize the video. Number 7. Airport stunt ramp. Because Rockstar took away the ability to fly airplanes in Grand Theft Auto 4 since the map was too small, the airport is really only good for getting 5-star wanted levels, the world's slowest vehicles, and letting airplanes destroy your car. But there is something very cool that you can do at the airport. So there's this weird little ramp there, not sure what the technical name for it is, and really I don't know what it's used for. But while it may not appear like anything, if you hit it just right, that's what she said, you will do a perfect barrel roll. And it's almost anxiety-inducing because you want to get it right, and a lot of times you will get it right. Get it right, get it tight. I don't know, but it's really awesome. So there's tons of other things at the airport that can be used as ramps, and while it's super simple, it makes the experience so much more fun. Number 6, Little Lazy Surprise. So sometimes the best thing to do in Grand Theft Auto is rack up a super high wanted level and see how long you can survive. One of the easiest ways to do that, in Grand Theft Auto 4 at least, is to go to an internet cafe. And did those things ever exist in real life? Y'all ever wondered that? Either way, kids these days will not be able to relate to that. But once you go in, log onto a website called LittleLazySurprisePageant.com. Surprise is an understatement when it comes to this. Just know that Jesus and Chris Hansen are watching. Because when logging on, Gator will be contacting you soon. But Little Lazy Surprise is an understatement when it comes to this. Just know that Jesus and Chris Hansen are watching. Because when logging on, you'll be met with a screen from the LCPD letting you know that this is a sting operation, your IP address has been cataloged, and an investigator will be contacting you soon. But Little Lazy Surprise hasn't even hit yet. It's not until after you log off that little bit planted you with a 5-star wanted level. I wasn't even trying to look for cheese pizza, guys. I was just trying to see what the surprise was. Number 5, the airport tower glitch. So, aside from the cool
time to go to bed. Bedtime. Oh shit, I guess it's bedtime. Free time, everyone. Nice free time.
Yes, thanks. Sorry, guys. I'm really sorry. God, I've been recording the whole time, dude. This experience, Randonautica, our experience has to be the best. Oh my gosh. Bro, that's crazy.
Dude, John's here with Nara. You already know. We were just talking about you, bro. Like, yo.
This story happened when I was 8 years old. My friends and I were playing outside. It was getting dark outside, and one of my friends suggested that we should go back inside. I convinced my friends to stay outside and play one more game. As we were playing, we noticed a white van coming down my street. It stopped right in front of my house. A man dressed in brown clothes got out with a box in his hand. I asked him if he had any packages. He said, "Yes, I have some huge toys in the back of my van. Why don't you boys help me carry them?" He led us to the back of the van and opened the doors. He said, "The boxes are in the back. Could you go and get them?" With little trepidation, we jumped inside. No sooner had we reached the back before the man shut the door and locked us in. Just as the man went to start the truck, we noticed an actual delivery van pull up next to our house. I recognized the delivery man from a previous delivery and screamed to get his attention. He looked in our direction, but before he could react, we started driving away. In panic, we tried to pry the door open, but it was pointless. We were too small and weak to escape. All we could do was stare out the crack and pray that someone heard us scream. Then, out of nowhere, we saw flashing blue and red lights. It was a patrol car telling the driver to pull over. We jumped out and cried as the officer freed us. The man was arrested, and we were subsequently delivered back home. As it turns out, the real delivery driver had seen us and followed the truck while giving the police as many details as possible. Without him, who knows what would have happened?
$0 delivery fee for your first order. Don't worry about dinner. Let dinner come to you with daughter.
I used to think my neighborhood was a safe place, and that the horrors of evil people belonged to places far away from my childhood home. As teenagers, no one exited the car. I couldn't even see anything through the windows due to the tinted glass. Needless to say, I started getting worried, but Trevor convinced me I was being paranoid and begged for us to stay. Finally, the doors to the black SUV opened. A hooded man exited the car. Trevor started to get nervous. A sickly-looking child accompanied of the rain cloud and realized the wall of rain was rotating. I thought to myself, this can't be happening. It was a tornado. It was wide, and it was coming right towards my house. The roar was deafening now. It became clear what I needed to do in order to survive. I quickly ran to the front door of my house. The roar now sounded like it was right on top of me. I turned the knob of my front door. Before I was able to pull the door open, the strong winds forced it open and knocked me backwards. I planted my feet, angled myself against the wind, and began my harrowing journey to the outdoor storm shelter. After walking 5 feet outside, the wind was so strong I began to crawl. The force of the rain blinded me. The only senses I could rely on was my hearing and touch. The storm shelter was on the side of my house, so I used the wall as a guide. The roar was so loud now, it began to hurt my ears. I knew I needed to make it inside the safety of my shelter right away, or else I would not survive. As I continued to crawl, it became harder and harder to move against the ferocious winds. I could finally make out the bright yellow handle of my storm shelter. It was about 10 feet in front of me. I thought to myself, I am going to make it. My newfound relief was crushed as I felt a suction pulling on my entire body. It felt as if I was an ant getting sucked into a vacuum cleaner. I dug my hands into the ground to secure myself, but it was of no use. The last thing I remembered was being lifted up into the air. Everything went black. I opened my eyes in a daze. The sun was just beginning to come up, and there was not a cloud in the sky. I looked around, and there was complete devastation. Everything was gone. First responders were searching the nearby debris. I figured they didn't notice me, or worse, thought I was dead. I thought maybe I should help in the search. I tried to get up. I realized I couldn't move my legs. I began frantically trying to move them. Nothing happened. I screamed. The first responders rushed over to me, but before they could even reach me, I went into shock. I woke up in a hospital bed. My life forever changed. Thanks for watching. You can watch it. It wasn't at a haunted house or anything, but it happened while I was delivering pizzas. I have no belief in the paranormal, nor any spirituality for that matter. Anyways, I was delivering pizzas because I work for a pizza chain. It was about 9 at night with almost a full moon out. It was dark, but I could still see a good 20 feet in any direction. So I bring the pizza to the door, everything goes normally, and I start to head back to my car. At about that time, I hear a noise like the plastic wheels of a big wheel or something of that nature going down the road a good 50 feet from me. My first thought was, why would a parent let their child play outside this late? As I look over, all I see is a faint orange light above where I hear this noise. Not thinking too much of it, I get in my car and back out of the driveway. As my headlights reach where the light is, I see the scariest thing I have ever seen in my life. There's like this midget thing just staring off into the woods. The best way I can describe it is it was like it was made of scribbles. Like a moving drawing of sorts, but the lines were really jumpy and weren't contained. I had my headlights on this thing for about 5 seconds before it noticed me. As soon as it notices my car, it makes an all-out sprint to where I'm sitting. I sat there frozen as this thing sprinted at me. It got about a foot to my car, and then disappeared. As soon as it disappeared, my car died and my headlights cut out. I sat there for a good 30 seconds with my heart racing, just waiting for something to happen. My headlights came on after about a minute, and I didn't see anything there. I turned my car back on and got the hell out of there. This is the first time I've told this story and still have absolutely no idea what it was. I am a firm skeptic, but this baffles me. My childhood home was haunted. I grew up in an emotional place. My mom had narcissistic personality disorder, and my sister had been diagnosed with bipolar and meth-induced psychosis. I was abused, neglected, and stressed out. So maybe negative energy draws demons, or maybe I was crazy at the time. My dog would often bark at the Ouija board. I'd often wake up hearing music and conversation in the living room, only to find that there wasn't anyone there. Very often, I would hear a baby cry and be too terrified to investigate. One day, I had some friends over. I told them the place was haunted, and one of them said, "Let's call the devil." Before I even had a chance to respond, an unbelievably loud and guttural growl came from my television set. The girl who wanted to call the devil pissed herself and never came back to my house again. Even
Good
after
time.
having witnessed.
It's free time now. Cool. Nice. Free time. Ooh. Okay. They built a basketball court. Nice. Okay. That's the building. Okay, so brought a maze. Nice. So brought a maze. Nice. Okay, so basketball court, maze. But that's they're gonna build. And they fucking built a fence. Great. But I can still hop over it. Nice, okay. But hey, oh well. So, okay, they built a fence around it. So I can't escape. So no one can escape. Okay, cool. That make it more challenging. But then the gate is right there. Of the mental hospital. The gate is right here. The gate is right here. Nice. Okay. They might want to change that name. They might want to change the name into mental hospital, because this is not a asylum anymore. This was a asylum, but now, you know, it changed into a mental hospital. So yeah, let's watch YouTube, I guess.
Is some of this.
Let's
Well,
smoke
the
some
most
weed.
terrifying part of this story happened when I was home alone, very late one night. I was talking on the phone with my brave friend when I suddenly felt sick. I saw my recently deceased grandma's reflection in the glass of the back door. I was very scared and frankly upset. It looked like her, but it wasn't. I went to my bedroom and began to hear scraping, like knuckles dragging on the walls. It was circling the entire bedroom, going round and round, faster and faster. My friend offered to come over, and I said, yes, please. By this point, I was crying. Just as he got to the front yard, he described hearing footsteps and seeing rocks moving in the front yard, but no one was there. As I went to grab the door to open it, my hairbrush flew directly at my face. Everything went silent after that. I tried to go to my friend's house as much as possible after that incident. As I got older, things did calm down, but I still had a terrible sense of dread, anger, and sadness. My life didn't really start until I got into a happier home and stopped talking to my mom and sister. So maybe I was crazy, but my friends saw things too. I was 15, and I thought I was old enough for war. The law didn't matter to me, not when it came to fighting for our country. So I lied. I lied my pretty little face off until they let me get on that dirty bus and go to the camp. I remember chuckling to myself. In my head, I was as ready as any of the other men for what was to come. I had my first panic attack in the trenches. I didn't even know what was happening to me, but I knew that I couldn't breathe or hear the gunfire anymore. I thought maybe I had died, and I froze. When we got back to our base, I was screamed at for so long my commander nearly lost his voice. All I could do was stand there, trying not to instinctively wipe the blood and spit from my face. I was ashamed, and it was the first time I wondered if I had made a mistake. A few days before my 16th birthday, they brought a few prisoners into our camp. One stood out from the group, a little boy who looked to be just a bit younger than me, but much frailer. The look on his face gave me second-hand terror, and I shuddered. He looked like he could be my brother. Then, on my 16th birthday, the interrogations began. Each of the soldiers in our camp took turns questioning and beating the prisoners. When it was my turn, I felt the feelings of panic rise in me again. I didn't want to hurt those people, especially not the young boy. When I entered the tent, my eyes met with his almost immediately. His face was bruised and bloody, and his eyes were hysterical. When he saw the gun on my belt, he began to panic, and I felt my heart sink. He reminded me so much of myself. I paused for too long, and my commander came in to see what was wrong. Before I knew what to say, he had pressed his gun to the child's head and silenced him.
Cross River Rail. 5 new stations in the city. Search Cross River Rail for everything you need to know.
mouth, and I gagged hard. After that, I knew I shouldn't have come to fight. I couldn't shake how easily I could have been in his position, and I couldn't shake the look in his eyes. I was never one for the drugs or violence on the dark web. I had a different interest, one which started innocently enough. I'd heard that there were millions of unsecured cameras online all the time, and that one could watch their feeds if they knew how to access them. I was no hacker, so I relied on a dark website that listed links provided by the hackers. Every click brought a new sense of anticipation. I never knew what the next link would reveal. I found live weather feeds atop tall comms towers, nanny cams inside people's houses, and sometimes even the actual in-studio cameras for television shows being filmed. But then a new update added new feeds late one night, and I found myself watching a dark, shaky, and grainy feed. It was quite odd. Cameras didn't usually bounce around like that. It was only when its owner lifted it out of her pocket that I realized I was looking out from someone's phone camera. Even worse, she didn't know it was on. She placed it on her nightstand facing the ceiling, and I listened while she had a conversation with someone else in the room. I don't know why I didn't turn it off. Part of me simply couldn't believe that a dark web hacker could connect and activate the cameras on people's mobile phones. Other commentators quickly explained how easy it was, and that shady government agencies did that kind of thing all the time. All of a sudden, loud noises began emanating from the live feed. My attention was drawn back to the live camera. The woman was having some sort of argument with what I now understood to be her husband, and it was getting pretty heated. Heart pounding, I listened as their fight reached a crescendo, and a gunshot went off. The feed went glitchy from some sort of thump against the nightstand. The ceiling took on a new splatter of red. Oh God, had I just witnessed a murder? Had her husband? No, she was whimpering softly somewhere unseen. She had killed him. Shaking in my chair, I clicked to another feed immediately. My brain was on fire with thoughts of investigations, cops, the site being tracked down, my house being raided. But then I heard two men starting to argue on this new feed. The phone fell and slid across the floor, giving me a view of what looked like a father and son suddenly bursting into rage at one another in the middle of a family gathering. The son grabbed a large knife and swung just as I clicked away. What the hell was happening? How had I just witnessed two violent assaults in such few links? In this third feed, a girl was filming herself in her car, apparently making 10-second long videos with her friends. There were 4 of them in the car, and they'd all been laughing and having a good time when I first started watching. But I saw the laughter fade as the girl filming herself began to grow red-faced with sudden emotion. She jerked the steering wheel without warning. I watched in horror as the 4 girls started screaming and flailing about, their long hair flailing around as the vehicle flipped. Aghast, I clicked to the next feed. As it loaded, a sudden light shined from my phone next to me on my desk, but I was too distracted by the notification dings of dozens of commentators on the site. A stream of posts full of all caps and exclamation points rolled out below the feed, all screaming some variation of "Stop" and "What are you doing?" and "Somebody ban this guy." But what had I done? It was their fault. Those monstrous people on that site. I hated them. I wanted to kill them. In fact, I owned a gun, and diverting that impulse, I took my phone and smashed it against my desk, breaking it in half. Then I kicked my computer over and stomped on it. Only then Standing in darkness, alone with my own terror, did the anger fade into tears. Nobody in my actual life would ever know what I'd done on the dark web, but I will never be able to forget. Thank you for calling. My name is Kevin. How can I help you today? I answered the call as I had thousands of others. Yes, I have some issues regarding my account, the caller said. Of course, we take your concerns very seriously.